So, welcome back to RBNY UK podcast. It's another week, and it's game week. We're coming up to our first game of the season, 2021 season, and the Red Bulls start at home against Sporting Kansas City on the 17th, beginning 1 a.m. our time, 8 p.m. Local time. So it's going to be a big test for Red Bulls. Let's put it as it is. It's not the easiest game to open the season with. The Sporting Kansas City are probably one of the better teams from the West, I would say. Be interesting. So I'm Luke. I'm joined by Scott today, the co-host.
Good evening. How are we?
Not bad. And Ronnie's not here again, but he will be back next week. So you've got that to look forward to. But in the meantime, we're joined by a legend of Red Bull media.
A celebrity.
Yeah. Of NY Red Bulls discussion group on Facebook. It's Mr. Garry Redman.
Evening, everyone. Evening, chaps.
Is even here. Not even for you. Is even here.
Afternoon, actually.
Yeah.
It's just shortly after lunchtime, but certainly with a 5-hour difference, it's almost close to bedtime for some. but
yeah.
Time difference. It's fun.
Today here in the United Kingdom was our big day of reopening. Like we had cafes keep open today, pubs, outdoor only, and whether we had snow.
Oh.
Everything reopens, snow. So that's welcome to Great Britain. The weather gets what you get. So, in this podcast, it's basically a season preview in a way. We're gonna start off talking some general Red Bull stuff happened since we last recorded.
Okay.
So we started off. We had another pre-season. This one actually happened. A lot of them have been cancelled, or we just don't know what's happened. So we had a 3-1 win over Tampa Bay Rowdies. So, I don't think we know who scored. Do we know anything?
As far as I'm aware, we know absolutely nothing. It's good old Red Bull blackout as this pre-season's been so far.
Yes.
No idea of starting lineups. No idea of goal scorers. I don't know whether you know any more, Garry, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anything about that game.
We got a few talked about it. I can tell you basically who scored and who didn't. Well, of course they lost, but the goal scorers, of course, what we got here, just going from the website. Okay. Well, Leo Fernandez scored off a pass to Zach Steinberger in the 59th minute. Put the Tampa Bay Rowdies past the Red Bulls. So that's basically a 1-0 win for Tampa Bay. And that gentleman, Leo Fernandez, is from what I've been following the New York Red Bulls too, and the USL, he's quite the firecracker when it comes to scoring goals. So finding him on the score sheet is not surprising for me, in particular. But the Red Bulls have been having trouble dealing with getting together with preseason games because of COVID. And it's not really, it's not really their fault. But every time when they get ready for a match, 1 or 2 or 3 of their players have been contracted the disease, and that pretty much that's all she wrote. So they were able to get in one game. They were able to get in the next game at home, a scrimmage game versus DC United, where it was ended in a draw. So that's it. That's preseason. But the good news is every other team is facing the same situation as the Red Bulls. They didn't get very much preseason games in. So by the time kickoff starts by Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, if anything goes right now.
Yeah.
So the only thing that most of these squads are hoping that they would try to avoid is any of their players, key or off the bench, injured because there wasn't enough warm-up time, there wasn't enough preseason, and that's not how you would want to going into the new season half ready. So, but next week it starts for real, and then we'll see just how good this team is.
Yeah, that's pretty much down on the head, really. We don't know a lot. every team's in the same situation. And it's safe to say there's a lot of people who don't believe in its team. It's safe to say we look at predictions. Emirates are not predicting the team do really well, but we will see. Football or soccer, I should say. It's not.
Well, the best answer to answer that question, Luke, is we don't know.
No.
Okay, we don't know. There are a lot of question marks. You got 11 new players joining the team on top of the guys that were left over from last year. We as I mentioned, all the preseason games were not televised. We had to hear for information straight from Twitter. Until there was a few people who were at the stadium last Saturday to see the scrimmage game, and it was just that. It's a preseason game, so there was nothing to judge. It starts for real Saturday night. I will be there. I'll be in attendance for that match. But to be honest, unless this squad gets a few games underneath their belt, anything said as far as the predictions and the prognostications, put that on hold. You don't know what's going to happen.
No.
We don't see how this team. All we know is how Struber did with Barnsley. Okay, so I won't say he did. The team did great once he left. Well, he was there to survive the drop. So I'm sure you guys know over in England where they hire a coach to keep them from being regulated, and after they succeed from regulated, they dump the coach for somebody else. So they said, "Well, thanks for keeping us alive. You're fired." So that's how it goes down. So Red Bull paid about $2 million to get him over to these shores. Mainly because of the way of his the ginger pressing style, which fits right into the Red Bull's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Past that point, Luke, we don't know. We don't know.
We don't
know. Not too long ago, we were wondering who was going to who was going to score. Well, they answered that question. So bits and pieces of information is spilling out from the technical side, but this is what we do know. Okay, this is what we do know. They got the coach that they need to work the system. That's one. Number two, Thelwell, for as many of you guys over there across the pond know this guy. Okay, he knows what he's doing. He did a tremendous job over at Wolves. Ran into some philosophical differences with the ownership or whoever that was in charge there. Felt like, okay, well, I'm going to start from scratch and move into a team that's never won a championship. Will that translate into winning the MLS Cup? We will see. But so far, personally, after many interviews I've had with him, I like what I'm hearing. But will it translate into an actual championship? Time will tell.
That's very true. So we move on to the DC Lions app now, Scott.
Yeah, so starting against DC, it was obviously a sort of home debut for Carlos Coronel. The few sort of bits of information we have received via video are a fantastic double save by Coronel. I think he starts on Saturday. I don't think there's any contention there anymore. As much as Ryan Mara's back in the frame, I think they brought in a loan signing to come in and start the game and start the season. So he played very well. The back line consisted of Duncan at right back, Gutman at left back, and Long and Tarek. I think Tarek was the biggest point of contention in terms of what I believe to be the starting lineup. I assumed Reyes would have started the game. However, Tarek, Duncan, and Gutman all played 90 minutes. Aaron Long obviously playing 45. I think that's due to the fact that he's been involved in a lot of football over the last few weeks with the US men's national team.
Correct.
And Reyes came in for him. So I think we expect to see that back four start once more on Saturday. We play Struber's formation is sort of a very narrow diamond in the middle. So it was Caceres and Velo in the sort of central midfield, shuttling, moving from back to forward positions. Sean Davis, the captain, started in the holding role, which I'll be completely honest, I would have expected either Caceres or Diarra to come in at that point. But I think Struber sees him as quite a sort of defensive-minded midfielder this year if he's to play. And then in the 10 was boy wonder Caden Clark. The front two we started with were White and Fabio. We had Danny Royer replacing Brian White at some point. I think that's another interesting sort of move. I thought Royer coming in for a midfielder might have been the case, maybe for Clark and playing in the 10 or mixing things around in the middle, but he came on up top. And Fabio seemed to have quite a good start to the game. He was very interested in taking the penalty kick, picking the ball up and walking over to the spot before Danny Royer said, absolutely none of that. I'm going to take this and put the ball in the net. Of course, scoring the opening goal. I think the other bits of information is Diarra came on I thought he would come on in the role for Davis in that sort of holding role. He came on in the middle instead. Cameron Harper as well, another wide player who replaced Caceres Jr. Again, this is a sort of different role than what we thought we'd get with Harper. I thought he'd be a more forward-thinking player, but he played very well in the diamond in the middle, linking up well with Kyle Duncan on the right-hand side. I think the biggest sort of thing to talk about really is the fact that Drew Yearwood didn't play any minutes. But from what I've managed to sort of source through many different Twitter pages is the fact that he wasn't warming up much on the side either. So I'd imagine there was probably a slight injury, a slight knock that just sort of kept him out of that game. And hopefully he can be involved on Saturday. But obviously it was a 1-1 draw in the end, which I think is a decent end to a very short pre-season.
Well, that's just it. Part of what you said is goes to what I said earlier about not having much of a preseason. They basically had interest team scrimmages, and they had just a couple of games. That's it. Okay, that's it. No more. A lot of those players, unfortunately, are not going to get their sea legs and probably may be a game or probably 2 or 3 into the schedule. So the tough part is that's the toughest part of the schedule for the Red Bulls. Right after Kansas City, they're going to be running. They're going to be running into some very good teams. Looking at the schedule here, and hold on, my screen takes 15 years. I mean, you got 3 games with very tough. Right after Sporting Kansas City, they got to travel west to the LA Galaxy. Always, regardless of where they are on the schedule, where they're on in the table, always going to be a tough matchup. And then from there, they're back home against Chicago Fire. If you remember last year, those matches were always tight, taut, especially after winning a couple of Shield games, winning the Supporter Shield from that squad. Those are 3 games that I can think of where a lot of folks feel that, well, they're not going to do so hot. But you know what? This is a team that has historically have started slow. April, May, it's a trade-off here and there. But once this team, and this is why I feel confident that those prognostications that people seeing them saying anywhere from 8th to 9th to 12th, I don't really want to. I will respect their picks, but this is a team that starts out slow, gains steam after they get to know one another, and make no mistake, they will. Many of those players will start to get to know everyone on the pitch, and when that happens, I think we're going to start to see the team that we believe it's going to be for 2021. Will they win a cup championship? Probably not. Are they going to get in the playoffs? Maybe. But if they're going to finish last, no. And the reason for it is because I'm trusting more of the system. This team hasn't finished last, gentlemen, since 2009. They've been making the playoffs ever since. So I believe that track is going to continue. Where it goes from there, like I said, we'll see. Mainly because we don't know. But I don't think they, based on the players you just mentioned, I don't think we got ourselves a bunch of scrubs here. I really don't.
No, not at all.
No. Well, let's be honest. MLS media can do MLS media. Me and Scott have had chats about this. We know what we think. We want to stay on there. But yeah, I
can't
agree.
catch a break with those guys. I mean,
No.
we really can't catch a break with those guys. But it's funny how they incessantly sleep on this team.
Yeah.
Every year we always get these predictions of where they're going to finish, somewhere at the bottom of the table and so on. But when it's all said and done, it's the teams that they pick for championships wind up at the bottom of the table, and somehow, some way, the Red Bulls are right in the thick of it.
Yep.
Fighting for either fighting for a title or fighting to make it to the playoffs and making it for nearly a decade in a row. I don't see that not happening.
Agreed.
2028.
Agreed.
I really don't.
No, I agree. I think we did our predictions a couple episodes. I had them. I think I had them second, and Scott had them sixth.
I went for sixth. I'm trying to curb enthusiasm a little bit and try not to be too over the top. But I'd be very happy with sixth this year. I think that's playoffs.
I mean,
and it's growth.
when you have a team that has a brand new coach and brand new players trying to work in, any place near on top of the table that's not last place is a victory. Okay, but Red Bull fans have high expectations, some unrealistic, some more right on the table. That's putting it mildly. I heard the snickering over there, Luke.
I think that's me and Luke described in about 3 seconds, to be honest.
I heard the snicker there, but hey, the fan base's expectation, they're starving for a championship for nearly a quarter of a century of supporting this. They're going to be prickly when it comes to their squad, but you'll never find a group of individuals that really deeply care for this team. They want this team to win in the worst way. They really do. And for every season that doesn't end with silverware, it gets stronger. I mean, we're willing to, what's they say? We're willing to eat our young, but we don't care if somebody stands in our face and tells us about them. We dismiss them. I mean, this is that type of fan base. I hate to say this, but they're a good group. They're a good, solid group, and and I enjoy the hell out of them, and I love them so much. Dealing with this team for nearly 25 years. There's a lot of good character within the supporters, and to call them unfaithful, it's not even close. They're faithful to the core, and that's how that's how this fan base is. However, like I said, they want to win. They want to see this club win after supporting them for so long. The one thing that I can say about this fan base that's been through so much for so long, they're always there. Fair weather, they're not. Some may be confused at how things run. Some may be confused at how the team is run or how the organization is run. But when dollars to donuts, they step. They're there, and that's probably the reason why they want to see them succeed.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can't fault the fans at all. So we'll move on to our next general topic, really, and this was a rumor. I should stress we have had a few people on Twitter.
Oh no!
I'm mentioning no names.
I had a great conversation with somebody on Twitter the other day.
Well, I won't mention any names, but
no. Please don't.
but it actually stress this is only a rumor. It's not been confirmed, but it was a rumor on a Twitter account that Sean Davis, club captain, member, could be on the trading block. If it is, that would be the fourth captain in 5 years to be traded from the Red Bulls.
Well, fortunately, Sean is still here. Sean, I can confirm I can confirm totally he's still on the roster. He's still on the team. You're right. The last three captains were traded away. One more dubious than the other. The one that really got the fans in a row, as you guys like to call it, is when Dax McCarty got traded to when Dax McCarty got traded. I didn't see. I honestly believe that it was more of a substitution for youth, but I believe he should have been in one more season. Honestly, he should have been one when it became the reason for it based on where he was playing. He was a defensive midfielder. He was the guy along with Carl Davis was cleaning up the mess. Whatever the frontline guys got it wrong. He was your destroyer. He was your guy that made sure that the defense didn't have to go into panic mode anytime when a forward or a midfielder darts into the final third. We haven't really had a great midfield since, and that's probably the reason why fans were up in arms, but they were, for all intents and purposes, pissed. to put it very mildly. I like Dax. Everyone. He was a fan favorite when he was with Chicago. When he was traded over to Chicago, people were shaking their heads, but he stayed on the field signing autographs because he cared very much about the fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just wrap it up saying, okay, he was the type of captain that you would like to have on your squad, and trading him away really upset the fan base.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very dumb move.
Yeah, I mean, like Scott knows, I love Dax McCarty. Oh god, I can't express how much I love him, and I was gutted when we got rid of him. I was just gutted. I was beside myself. Like
I was shaking my head like, why, guys?
I think
One more season. I get that you want to trade him for youth, but one more season wouldn't have killed
I think one more season. I think also what annoyed the fans was there was no real goodbye. He was such a good player, and he sadly just gone. I think that was what hurt a lot of people. But I think he was something down, got him out a year too early, really. But we did have an amazing 2018 season. We liked him. So, and he's always going to be a New York legend. So, but we'll move on to. I don't think Sean David is going to be traded to you, Scott. Just to up with that quickly.
I don't see it happening. I think especially with the DC game, especially with him playing in such a specific position in which I don't think we necessarily. I thought he would be either where Caceres or Velo played. He played that bit deeper, which is where I'd expect either a Yearwood or a Diarra or even a Caceres. I think the fact that he started that game in that position, that says to me that he's going to be here come Saturday, come LA Galaxy, come Chicago, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I agree. So, the last thing I generally is, I let you under this one, Scott. You know more about this than I do.
So the next sort of bit of information is obviously the wide reports of a £1 million allocation money signing of FC Cincinnati's Frankie Amaya, a player who played 2,700 minutes for Cincinnati in his career so far. A very, very exciting player, 20 years old, US national. For me, it screams what we want to do. It screams New York Red Bulls. It screams the path that we're going. He slots into that team perfectly as far as I'm concerned. Last year for Cincinnati, from what I saw, and I can't say I watched them thoroughly, but both Andrew Gutman and Frankie Amaya were their better players. Those two were the better two players on that team. And the fact that both of them have now come out, well, one of them's definitely come over here. The other one should be coming over here at some point. I think that's huge business for the club. What do you think, Garry?
I believe that this is one for the future. I like this move a lot. Watching him play last year, definitely was just more talented above his years. I mean, why Cincinnati would let him go is a head scratcher. I'm glad that we got him, but I'm contacting my friends over in Cincy. Okay, what you get rid of this kid? You had high hopes, you had high expectations for this guy. So what happened? They had too many players in his position, so they felt, we can get some allocation money for the deal. Here you go. We can lose one of our guys. Their loss, our gain. That's the best way that I can able to judge this trade. We'll see what he can able to fit um, in the scheme of things. But if you look at the roster now, guys, we're too deep in every position,
We're
which is
stacked, aren't we? We
yeah,
are
we're
stacked.
stacked. I mean, which is something that we were looking to see for years. Okay, now we got it. Okay, but now the question is, as I said way back in the beginning of the podcast, okay, we don't know, and sooner or later, unless these guys begin to gel, then we'll see what the type of team that they have. But for now, on paper, I like what I see. I definitely like what I see. I see a deep and stacked squad. For years, we've had top heavy teams with very thin benches, and then and then we made headway to win, but not a championship. And I remain that unless you have veterans and unless you can't have a squad full of kids without some veterans. That's not how that's going to get it done. The best example, the best example that I can give you is Columbus Crew. They've got a couple of players known, but very few superstars. But yet they have a very deep and talented bench, and they just simply put teams to the sword on their way to winning a cup. That's how you get it done in MLS. Anything short of that, you are wasting your time. Gentlemen,
I agree.
I'll leave it
Gary,
to
just
you.
a quick question.
Sir.
If there was one position in our side that you would say, right, we need one more player, where would you have us improve? I know what I believe, but I don't know what do you say?
Striker. We need a home run hitter. I like the makeup of the team. Make no mistake. We got some ballers hungry. They're gonna go in the press. They're gonna hunt down guys with balls. That's the type who has the ball. They're gonna add a little possession on it, but we're getting back to basics. That's what we want to see. What I would love to see that will put us from maybe to strong contender for an MLS Cup is a guy that makes defenses nervous when he has the ball. And he doesn't necessarily have to shoot the ball, but someone that can make the defenses go, okay, we have to put 2 guys on him, 3 guys on him. And that will leave somebody open to, someone like Fabio, who's big, who's physical, getting able to get behind the lines and able to pop the ball into the net. He can't do it by himself. I don't like the idea of having one guy up there as a striker, especially where the entire defense can able to collapse around him and remove him with the ball. If we had someone of a pair, someone that can actually scare, not necessarily nervous, but scare that defense to death, I can able to say, okay, we got ourselves a championship team. Let's go. But right now, a whole lot of maybes.
Yeah, needs a lot of maybes.
I think for me, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think for me, the only position I'm a little bit concerned about is centre half, centre back. Obviously, Aaron Long will be going to the Gold Cup. I don't think there's any ifs, buts, or maybes around that. He will play for the US in the summer.
Absolutely.
I think then we're left with 3 players. We're left with Tarek. We're left with Reyes, who's I think by the sort of changes we made against DC, he might be seen as a more of a rotation player. Who will sort of grow into the team.
You're going from a maybe to a question mark. Keep going.
Yeah, and then we've got Sean Nealis, who has been okay when he's played, but I don't think he's necessarily a standout player. That's the area for me. When Aaron Long goes, I think we're missing that really big, important ball playing defender.
I can understand trading. I can understand a trading within it to Houston. I can understand trading him, but you didn't get somebody tangible. Yeah, Parker. I can understand trading Parker to Houston, but you didn't get anyone tangible. So you're relying on Tarek, who's good. However, he's good for a gaff or two, especially in his positioning. Um, Good in the air, but not much else. Okay, he definitely has the wings. They'll beat down very quick defenders, the midfielders, busting it down to the midfield. But like I said, his positioning is suspect. That's one. Um, Nealis, there's a reason why I sometimes call him hands. Because he gets caught sometimes so flat-footed that we get hit with penalties because balls somehow inexplicably wind up in his hands. I don't know why that is, but he's not a bad lad. I followed him from New York Red Bulls too. Sizable defender, but when you're making the leap from USL to MLS, you're really supposed to be stepping up your game. And the simple fact that he's on the bench shows that he's not there. And now, lastly, we don't our central defense once upon a time used to be elite. Not so. We, as much as I love Aaron Long, he's the guy that's destined to go to Europe one way or another. We're going to lose this guy, okay, either from international games or by the end of the season. He's going to welcome something for other than MLS. His game hasn't gotten not that much better, but good enough where he's getting lots of scouts. A lot of people from a lot of scouts from European teams. They see him, they like him, and don't be too surprised. Maybe within a year or two, he'll wind up on Europe. But first and foremost, every time he goes to playing with the Nats, it's an audition. And that's how many of these young players see it. It's an audition, especially if you're going up against very good European sides.
Yep. What the deal is, we've got less than a minute here. So what we'll do,
Okay.
so we'll start a new one. And I'll send you both a link. All right. Let me get end it.
No.
So we're now going to move on to our next thing in our agenda. Really, we're going to talk about breaking news we launched on social media on Twitter. It's RBNYUK on Instagram, the same name, on our Facebook group, also on basically loads of places. We announced it's a brand new exciting vision, but Red Bull New York is no longer just a supporter group. It's our 5th anniversary this year since our beginnings. And for that, we are really expanding and making it, becoming our big name in RBNYU media. So we launched our new website. You can find news articles on match days. So it'll be pre-match team announcement, post-match analysis, etc. Transfer rumor, transfer confirmance, with predictions on there. Be some fun stuff along the way. Some road trips when we can eventually travel again, which is going to be little well. Me and Scott have penciled in. It's not Nashville away. We penciled it in as a maybe see Daphne Carty play. I'll be honest, more than anything. So that's something you can come to. You can find our website at RBNYUK.com. You can read it in English and Spanish. It's completely translated into Spanish. Everything on it will be. Have you got anything else you want to add, Scott? Or
yeah, I mean, a big thing that I really wanted to sort of talk about is that with Saturday being game day, we have created a bit of an event, a live watch along. So the idea with that is obviously we'll set up a Zoom call. We'll all watch it on our own televisions and we can just discuss. I know for me, whenever I watch a Red Bulls game, I have Twitter open, I have Facebook open, I have Instagram open. I'm looking through and I'm commenting and I'm having a conversation with loads of different people through there. I think it'd be a really nice opportunity if we were all on a Zoom call.
Yep.
And rather than having to type, we could sort of give each other live reactions and thoughts about what was going on. So if you go onto the events page on the website, you'll be able to book yourself a free ticket to come and join the live watch along.
Yep.
That just being something I think we needed to allude
good
to.
point. Yeah. Like as we just had, you don't have to be for UK to come to that. if you're in America and you can't go to the game, come along. You're more than welcome. We are limited. I say we're limited. We won't get this amount of people. But we are limited to 100 people due to our Zoom restrictions. So you can get a free ticket on our website, RBNYUK.com. Completely free. We don't think basically all it is, so we get an email so we can send you a Zoom link, and we will get your Zoom link a couple of days before the match. Come and join us. I don't think anything else to add.
While you're over there, go and click on the About Me page. You can look at my very, very handsome face and read all about me. So, I'm going to plug that at any opportunity given.
Yeah.
I think we also need to discuss that as of today, which is for us over here in the UK, it is 8:15 on the 12th of the 4th. We are going to launch a YouTube channel. The first video that will be on our YouTube channel will be this video itself. We thought rather than just putting out the audio podcasts, it'd be really, really nice to sort of see if some of you are interested in looking at us while we're talking. And it's another sort of form of watching what we've got. So that was the reason we brought Garry on today, because he's clearly far better looking than the pair of us. And we'll hopefully improve our views on YouTube.
Give it ad revenue. But yeah, so we'll be on YouTube, and like I alluded to earlier, when the world is back to normal, or semi-back to normal, shall we say? I don't think it'll be back to normal. You'll see videos of our road trips to New Red Bull Arena, away games. It'll be some really cool stuff you go and see for what Red Bull New York will be doing in the future. It's going to be awesome. I can confirm that we had our call on last week, and the future looks so exciting for us. So be part of the journey. You can join our Facebook group. We exactly the same Red Bull New York. You can the links will all be in the description. And everyone's welcome, either from America or from the UK. Welcome you all. So yeah, I think that's wraps it up from the website. I think you got anything more to say, Garry, or are you happy to move on?
You had a chance to look at Garry?
Yes, I have. I took a chance to look at the website and was very impressed. Before what I basically, especially the part about having fans doing a watch on for many of our matches that are being broadcast. I think that would be a wonderful idea to get people to see our games live. We also dovetailed that to our game threads, just in case if they want to be able to get a play-by-play the action. Many of our team members, Mark Kotz, will be hosting the opening night game thread.
Yeah.
And of course, we also makes a connection, not a connection, but a link. We also provide a link to the Red Bull Radio Network, which you can able to get live play-by-play streams from Matt Harmon and Matt Harmon for that match. So it's always a lot of fun. It's always a lot of excitement. So we look forward to seeing you guys really step up with your match day set, and we hope to see you guys when you're finally on stateside.
Hopefully. So we did go move on to quickly. Final topic, really.
Okay.
Of it. So we can't have Garry on here and not talk about the New York Red Bull discussion group. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Not possible. Okay.
We're going to talk a bit about that. So why don't you tell people a bit about the discussion group? It's the 10th anniversary this year. Tell us how it started.
Well, it started with a gentleman by the name of DJ Giovanni, who created this page as a protest site for one of their former coaches, and his name was Hans Baca. He didn't to say that he didn't agree of how the team was being run to the ground and how he was happy with it was putting it mildly. So he created a protest page to get him dismissed. Well, he was dismissed anyway 2 years later, and the group page has grown leaps and bounds into something more. We have a wide and diverse group of individuals who would talk everything about the New York Red Bulls and New York Red Bulls 2. Of course, the team that's also cohabiting Red Bull Arena, FC Gotham, which used to be known as Sky Blue FC. And of course, anything else that pertains to the team, the arena, and of course the fan base. Nothing is off the table. I've been the lead moderator and administrator for about 5 years now. I've seen this page grow and shepherd its growth. It's been amazing what we're able to accomplish in such a decade. And we look forward to the next decade coming up. So this is a good, if anyone's interested, just simply go into Red Bulls discussion group on Facebook. Make sure that you're able to agree to abide by the rules, and you're in. Have fun, and that's how it works.
It's great for you to be part of. We can talk about Red Bull stuff. We put some of our stuff in there. As you see us, see me, Scott, in there sometimes. Ronnie makes it.
Gary's very gracious and allows us to post all of our links and everything on there. So we really do appreciate
that. Very kind. So we better talk a bit about your Red Bull experience as a fan. So what would you say your best moment as a Red Bull fan is?
My best, wow, there's so many, but there is one in particular, and I want to go back to 2015, which I like to refer to as my best moment as a fan. I was selected to present the game ball because of my, they had some sort of promotional gift for many of the fans. Those that had perfect attendance at the arena were selected to do something special before the game. I presented the game ball before the kickoff between the Red Bulls and the Chicago Fire, and it was on that very day we won our very first shield, our very first major trophy. Being a supporter with a team that had never have won a major trophy of any kind was a huge step up for us. It was something that brought tears to a lot of eyes that usually brought tears quite too much, but it was very nice to see that live and in person. And it was able to, before I presented the game ball, I made a slight little tribute, and I held the ball in there toward the supporters end, as basically saying that this is for you, because I appreciated everything they did for the team, and traveled with them many road trips and such. Is always a good time with them. So I just wanted to say, as my fan, to a bunch of fans, say thank you for everything you guys did. And it was such a good feeling that we knew that we were going to win that game, and to be able to put one bugaboo to rest.
Yeah.
And that is what to this very day, that is my greatest day as a fan.
Okay, that's the greatest day. What is your worst day as a fan?
Okay. There were so many, but I think the one that stands out was with our rivals with Philadelphia Union. I was sitting there with my jersey on, all by myself, and this guy decided to point me out to get the crowd to say umpteen years no cups. And I was the only Red Bull fan there.
Oh.
But I took it like a champ. I mean, I could have yelled and screamed, threw beer at him, but I didn't. I just said, okay, I'm going to remember this. I said, one of these days they're going to win a cup, and I'm going to remember this because I believe in the football gods. I figure, okay, I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to take this one little, dig into the team, and I think I'm going to be rewarded. I haven't been rewarded yet as a fan, but
will come
soon, because what I really would like to do, if they allow me, is if we do win that cup, I want to travel down to Philadelphia like a special guest, and I'm going to find that fan like, about that cup you said we didn't win, but I don't know if that I mean, I would be over the moon if if the Red Bulls will allow me to do that, just to, just for that. But there are so many that I can say was my worst moment as a fan. But that above, I've never been called out like that amongst all these Union fans. But most people don't take it too well. I just said, okay, all right, yeah, you get this one. Yeah, we didn't. Of course, naturally, we didn't win the game. We lost the game as well. that was so. I had to do the long walk of shame shortly after that. I mean, but I feel that one of these days we'll capture that.
It'll happen eventually. So we've got two final quick questions. Who's your
Okay.
favorite? Who's your favorite all-time Red Bull player? I can pretty get. I think I can guess who it would be, but I might be wrong.
My favorite all-time Red Bull player. As much as I love Thierry Henry, I'm just gonna say Bradley Wright Phillips.
I knew
Bradley
it.
Wright Phillips. Bradley Wright Phillips is,
Oh,
to me, he's a legend. He is Mr. Red Bull around here. Seeing him in other colors sickens me. You should have retired a Red Bull. Should have been with the Red Bull family as a coach or something. He has so much to offer. He loves the team. He loves the fans. We love him back. There's just no comparison. I mean,
no.
sure, we've had many players that fit the mold, and Thierry Henry was probably our best player ever to wear our colors. But this was a guy who came on the team as a trialist, and left as a legend.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very true.
What a quote! What a quote!
What a quote from Gary Redman. And your final question before you let you go and get back to the. Is it sunny in America at the moment? Is it sunny or overcast or?
Right now it's a bit cloudy.
Before
It has been rain. It has been raining on and off, but the weather is supposed to improve toward the end of the week. We don't know. But the nice thing about Red Bull Arena is like 99% of the seats are sitting under a roof, so we don't have to worry about
That's true.
rain or whatever.
That's true. So before we let you get back to that overcast weather we all love, who's your favourite current player from Mixed Voice of the Red Bulls?
Current
Player.
Well, my favorite current player retired, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to switch gears. If there's one person that I really admire, will be Ryan Mara. His perseverance, in spite of everything. Is he our starter this year? No. He's gonna have to fight it out. He's gonna have to fight it out with three other keepers. But seeing him there, despite everything, has impressed me to the core. I've interviewed with him. I talked with him. Brilliant lad. You'll love him. He's definitely a local. The guy's went to school at Fordham University in the Bronx. I mean, he's about as New York as you can get. His father is a firefighter in Westchester County. We adore him. But as they say, time goes on. We don't know how long he's going to be with the team. I hope he's still there. I honestly hope he's still there. I hope he gets in a few slots. The one thing that I like about him is during tournament time is, he was the one that spearheaded our championship run for U.S. Open Cup, only to fall to the team that we're going to be facing on Saturday night, which is Sporting Kansas City. And with that, I'll end with a prediction. I can see us being level on terms, 1-1 or 2-2.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take 2-2. I'll take a point. I'll take a point on open day against Sporting Kansas City. Well, all that they've said is going towards the end of our podcast. Thank you very much, Garry, for coming on. You can check out
my honor.
You can check out the discussion group on Facebook at NY Red Bulls Discussion Group. You can check Garry out on Twitter at Garry Redman. Got some great stuff coming out for Red Bull New York. But if you can stay involved, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, RBNYUK, same on Facebook. Our website, brand new website. We'll have loads of stuff coming up soon. Been a bit quiet the last couple of days because we've not really had any news to put on. But coming from Saturday, we have match day previews. Match day, we will announce the squad when it comes out. We have a link to, like Garry said, Red Bull Radio, which anyone can access in the world. With so much coming out. Keep an eye on RBNYUK.com. That's all it says. Thank you very much, Garry. Good night.
Cheers, Garry. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, Garry.